Hey there, it's Jim and Debbie with special guest Makenna Cannon for a deluxe installment of the Midday Minute. Debbie, in today's episode number 68, I brought my smart look.
Yes, you did. I wonder why.
Because we're going to be debriefing the Leadership Weekend and announcing the top 6 most valuable students. Pretty exciting.
Yes.
I can't believe we're here.
Well, why don't we talk, so let's talk about Leadership Weekend. All took place on Saturday virtually, right? How did it go?
Oh, it went really well. I mean, it's always great to bring our scholars together, even virtually, to engage with each other, to engage with our scholar leaders that were there, get to put, faces to names, and get to see them, in person. Yeah.
It's remarkable to me. We started the Leadership Weekend in 2014, right? So this was the 9th, and 1/3 of them now have been virtual. Yeah. So in 2020, for obvious reasons, 21, obvious reasons, and then 22, right? We had to go virtual. And I think that consolidating it into the day made it very successful for us.
Yes, absolutely. We kicked things off with a morning session to, teach the scholars about our programs and our scholarships. And they were able to, get into the chat on Zoom and talk to each other.
And one of the neat things about the curriculum for these weekends is it's not just us teaching the scholars about these opportunities, right? We bring in scholar leaders from previous top 20 classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who was there?
Yeah, so we had Arissa Machetta and Jerry Curran from, I believe, 2020, who were in our top 20. And then we had Jacoby Lockman from last year, who was our top winner. As well as members of our SAB, which is our Student Advisory Board, which is really cool.
Sorry to be shuffling papers, but I was looking at the program for the weekend, which is really nice. And there's a great quote from Jerry Curran.
Do you want to read it?
Yes. So he says, and this is advice he's giving to the attendees. He says, make sure to reread your application at least once before the interview so that you remember what activities and experiences you wrote about. Great advice. The Elks staff is very welcoming and will want to stay in touch with you after this weekend. Try to view this interview not as the end of your Elks journey, but rather as the beginning of your time in the Elks family. Could not have said it better.
Perfect.
Ourselves.
And he walked the talk. He joined the Boston service trip with Irissa also,
That's
right?
great.
They participated in the Boston service trip in August of 2021.
Yep. It's fun when they have opportunities to renew their acquaintances through Elks activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but where were we? Monday morning.
Monday morning. Oh, no.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, we kicked things off. Jerry was a part of that, one of our leaders in Arissa as well. And we just, presented a quick thing about the Elks, what the Elks do, and had them engage with each other. Shortly after that, we broke apart for the really nitty-gritty of the day, which is the interviews. So we had our panel of interviewees ready to go, and they were managed by 2 of our staff members. And we had not only our expert judges, our national judges, but also our Elks Scholar representatives on that,
right.
Which is great. So, yeah.
Who are they?
They are a couple of very familiar names. So we have Bryce Caswell and Sean Loosely, our top winners from
2003 top winners, yeah.
Yeah, and then Jay Cunningham Little, and he is just
Top winner 2016?
Yeah.
Right, so
it was really great.
Which is fantastic. I was actually saying to Sean Loosely after the interviews, he was really kind of the scholar who inspired us to want to be more than a check to our scholars, right? He connected with you in 2003, it was St. Louis, is that right? Convention?
Right, yeah.
And kept in contact with you and really demonstrated to us what it could mean to have really deep relationships with our scholars.
Absolutely. He was engaging with us before we were really making an effort to engage with our scholars. So, he's been wonderful.
Fantastic. It just so happens that he also had, struck up a relationship with Bryce back in 2002, and they have maintained that relationship, and they are a dynamic duo for sure.
Yeah, and they've been a part of, I think, all but the first Leadership Weekend, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's been great to have them, and that's the idea, is we have experts in the field of
admissions,
thank you, in the
financial
admissions
aid.
Field, and then we also round out the panels with with Elks scholars who are helping to select the next generation of
Right.
top scholars.
And all three of them are Elks as well. They've
Yeah.
all gone on to join. Don't press me on what lodges, but I think Provo, Sean Leslie, I think, is a member of Provo.
Burien.
Bryce is a member of Burien. And Jade joined Gulfport, Mississippi, but now lives in Seattle, so might be
Right.
aligned with the Seattle Lodge, one of the Seattle lodges. So it's super exciting always to have them with us, and they really set the course for us for the day.
They are fantastic, and we were thrilled to have them back again this year. And then if the scholars weren't in their interviews, they were getting a professional portrait done, which is so fancy and cool. And so they went in for a session with a portrait booth artist, and then we took a break midday to have some fun, and we did a scholar-led scavenger hunt. So we had people running around their houses looking for things that are important to them, that have meaning, something from their favorite holiday. And it was a really great way to learn more beyond the application about all of the scholars. So it was really wonderful. And then at the end of the day, we wrapped up with a really fun event that's been really popular in the virtual world with our scholars, which is speed friending. And that was led by our scholar fellow, Grace Roebuck.
Also the fun czar.
The fun czar of the ENF, yes. And yeah, they had a great time. They were able to go into breakout rooms, smaller groups, to really connect with everybody, which is great. So it's a great day.
Jim mentioned how great the program looks, and shout out to the communications team for putting this together, of course. But one of the things we ask the top 20 to provide us not only a picture of themselves and where they're thinking they're going to go to school, but a fun fact. Do you want to share some of those fun facts?
Oh, I do. So one of my favorite fun facts this year is from Anil Patel out of Beeville, Texas. And he has shared that his fun facts, that he made his acting debut at 4 years old in London, England. He was in several episodes of Bob the Builder and made birdhouses with Bob and took on other construction work.
And not the only one of our scholars who's had like a brush with the entertainment industry. One of them was on a kid's version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved what he said also. He said, despite my dance moves and trivia confidence, I did not become a millionaire.
The breadth and depth of these scholars is so remarkable. It's like they're not just outstanding in their academics, but oftentimes they're musicians, like accomplished award-winning musicians, and they're in the theater, and it's really, it's amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, Autumn Fairbanks from Mesa Buckhorn, Arizona, plays the glockenspiel, which I think is a very specific instrument to hone.
Yes, indeed. Was that her fun fact?
It was.
That is a fun fact.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not so fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're just very literal.
Yes.
Like my favorite drink is Gatorade.
Yeah.
Or ginger ale.
Ginger
I'm
ale,
sorry,
yeah.
it's ginger ale. Like,
One of them was a black belt in karate too. Again, not necessarily a fun fact, but a dangerous fact.
Yeah. Watch out.
Right.
Good thing it was
Right.
virtual.
Right, exactly.
Well, all right. Any other major takeaways you want to talk about before we delve in?
My major takeaway is always how impressive the cohort of scholars is every year. And this group is no different. These kids are going on to such great things. They have really, really bright futures, and they're all just so wonderful. So.
If we were to ever expand the leadership weekend, we could potentially have 40 amazing scholars, or 50, or 100. They're just
or 500.
Exactly. The pool of finalists is really impressive.
Right. Well, maybe before we go on to the big announcement, we can also say that when we moved to the virtual format for the leadership weekend, we decided, we were already planning to have a scholar service trip in Atlanta during convention, so that we'd be bringing at least 20 scholars together to serve in the name of the Elks in the Atlanta community while we were there for convention. Once we moved to the virtual format for the 2022 leadership weekend, we decided to make the priority inviting our top 20 to join us in Atlanta. So that's already out there. Everybody knows that they are going to have an opportunity to come and be with us in Atlanta. I think it's June 30th to July 4th. So hopefully all 20 can make it, but if not, hopefully a large percentage of them can, and we look forward to meeting them in person.
And we're hoping to have a side-by-side service opportunity at the convention center too.
Right, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep, so super exciting. All right.
All right. Are you ready?
Drum roll.
I'm ready.
All right, we'll start off with our third place winners. All right, so representing the women, we have in third place, winning a $30,000 scholarship, Anita Zahiri, sponsored by New Orleans, Louisiana, Lodge number 30.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
very excited.
I believe she's the black belt in karate.
She
Yeah.
is.
That's
Right,
your
yes.
fun
right.
fact.
Yes. Yeah, Shokotan karate, I think, is how that's.
She had the chops to be our third place.
She definitely did. She's currently undecided on her school. She's in between Harvard and Yale, which is quite the choice. And she'll be studying computational biology and applied mathematics, which is awesome. All right, moving on to the men. We have Mohammed Ibrahim from Fort Morgan, Colorado, Lodge 1143. And Mohammed is actually looking into studying engineering, which makes sense because his fun fact is that he loves heavy-duty trucks and machinery.
Nice.
All right, ready for second place? All right, our second place winners are Florence, or Flo, Anyuke, from Sanford, Florida, Lodge number 1241. And she will be studying international relations and business.
And never wears matching pair of socks.
That's
Good thing that didn't come up during the interview, right?
And a fun, also, this wasn't her fun fact. The socks were, that was her fun fact, but that she was going to her prom on Saturday night. So she was able to participate in our leadership activities and then go to prom. And I think she showed up at the last session all ready to go.
She was in her finest in our last session, which was awesome. So we're so glad that she was able to join us and is our $40,000 winner. All right, for the men, we have Jang Cho, and he is sponsored by Henderson Green Valley, Nevada, Lodge number 2802. He'll be going to Harvard University to study molecular and cell biology. That's pretty
And
impressive.
his fun fact was
That he likes ginger ale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't, right?
All right, without further ado, our top winners of 2022 MVS contest are winning $50,000, Brianna Fowler from Salisbury, North Carolina, Lodge number 699. She'll be going to Spelman College and studying education studies.
wow.
Really impressive, yeah. And finally, our $50,000 winner on the men's side is Caden Uckley White, sponsored by Slidell, Louisiana, number 2321.
Who was the aforementioned contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Whiz Kids. I can't wait to see him dancing.
I can't wait. Yeah, and Caden will be studying astrophysics at Columbia University.
Not shabby.
Not shabby at all.
He's going to be an intern for NASA this summer also, and coming to Chicago.
And he'll be in
at the
Chicago.
University of Chicago doing a program, so hopefully we'll be able to connect with him not only in Atlanta, but also here when he's in Chicago. Yeah, really an outstanding group.
Yeah, I'm
Of
so
scholars.
impressed with them. They all have great, great resumes.
We cannot predict the future. Some of these kids probably can, but we can't. And our hope is that next year we will be back in person for Leadership Weekend.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
But I love that we're going to try to assemble these 20 again in Atlanta, give them the opportunity to meet each other in person, connect that way, connect with us. It'll be great.
Yeah, can't wait.
So if one of our viewers would like to find out more information, where can they do that?
Yeah, so you can go to elks.org/scholarship/MVS winners, I believe, is a direct link now.
Or the homepage, right? We'll have something posted on our homepage, enf.elks.org, and we'll have something, a nice recap there.
Those are two swings and a miss. Go to elks.org/ENF and you'll find it.
No
Okay.
friendlies on this?
Right.
All right.
So before we get to Atlanta, we have another big event to get through, right? So maybe we can just talk briefly about the hoop shoot before we let people go.
Sure.
Okay, what's happening at the end of the month?
Well, 2022 Hoop Shoot National Finals. It's a pretty big deal. Golden
Perhaps
anniversary.
you've heard of it. Yeah, it'll be the golden anniversary. Full steam ahead. We have our 72 national finalists. We're working hard on our plans to get ready for that weekend. Now that we have the leadership weekend behind us, it can command our full attention. And we can't wait to have that back in person for the first time since 2019.
Right, it's days away.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, under 2 weeks.
Perhaps people didn't recognize you outside of your red, white, and blue
I
hoop shoe
know.
colors.
Yeah, I'm usually decked out in royal blue.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Yeah.
Now you, as we've talked about on the Midday Minute, you've got a foot in both worlds here as our youth programs manager. So.
Yeah. So if folks want to see more of Makenna Cannon, where can they go?
Well, you can check out our show, Hoop Shooting the Breeze, that premieres once a month on our YouTube channel.
I would like you all encourage you to go out and check out the most recent episode of Hoop Shooting the Breeze.
Guest starring.
Guest hosted by me and featuring our national president of the Elks, Keith Mills.
It's a really good episode.
Yeah.
It is a good
It's a great
episode. So check that out, please, and then watch subsequent episodes with Makenna.
And look forward to learning more about this group of illustrious scholars, and we'll start to talk about even more of the winners and get ready to be wowed.
Can't wait.
All right, are we done, guys?
I think that's it.
Okay. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Midday Minute, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're heartless and cruel. We'll take it, though. Either way, please share it far and wide so more people can learn about these outstanding scholars we talked about today. If you're not already subscribing to our YouTube channel, hit that button and tap the bell so you'll be notified every time we post new content, like Hoop Shooting the Breeze, like Take a Sip, like 20 for 20, all sorts of good stuff.
So much content.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.